People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and
welcome to the show. Well, you've met my son. You've met my younger sister. Now, today we're going to do something a little different. And you're going to meet my cousin, which I have many, by the way. Now, you're probably thinking, what's the difference about that? Well, we're not going to talk about family matters. We're going to talk about something totally different. I hope you're intrigued. Now, it's time to meet my cousin, Jimmy, or James Roy Carrier. Hello, Jimmy.
Hi, how are you?
You know, I almost introduced you. Elizabeth, you know you're in the video, right?
No, I'll get out of it.
That's so cool. I like it. Now, I almost introduced you, pronounced your last name as Courier, which is the only way I ever heard it.
Well, you know, the thing is I was down in Lawrence Settlement not that long ago, and in the cemetery, it's all Carrier. And there's only one spelt with an O, Courier.
Well, we never spelt it. We never heard it spelt with the O. We didn't see it that way, but still, our grandfather, Papa, always pronounced it Courier, even though it was spelled Carrier. Anyway, that was just a little aside. I mean, both of us have interesting information about our last names, but that's not what we're going to talk about. Okay. Now, I know you have tattoos, correct?
Yes.
Can you show us some of your tattoos? Can you stand up maybe and show us some?
Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to, can you see my arms?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are called sleeves, right? When they're full?
Yeah. And then I have
all
my upper body.
Yes.
Done. I have my back done also.
Right.
And my sides. I have a real nice one on my side of my wife when she was 10 years old fishing out in British Columbia, sitting on a rock, you know. It's just...
Oh, nice. Very nice. So at what age did you get your first tattoo?
Well, there's a little story to it, if I can tell you about it.
Please.
When I was younger, I got into a bit of trouble around 15, and I was put in a reform school. And there I saw a guy with a tattoo. He was much older than me. And I just thought, wow, one of these days I'm going to get one. You know, as soon as I get out of this place, I'm getting one. But the judge had other ideas. He sent me to a rehab for 6 months, and I kind of just forgot about it. And then one day I was walking down St. Lawrence Boulevard in Montreal, and I saw this. It said Tatouage Quebec. And I said, wow, I'd like to go in there just to see what it's about, but you have to be 21 to get in.
Right.
I'm only 15, you know. So I went in anyways, and the guy asked me if I was 21, and in my most manly voice, I said, yes, you know. So he said, have a seat, and just asked me what would I like, and I pointed to something on a wall, and it was very almost like a cave I was in, like they had a rope with a blanket, and I sat down, and he did one on my chest, and it was like a jackhammer going through me. And I said to myself, never again. You know, it just hurt too much. It took a while to heal, but not much longer after that, I started getting tattoos on, and it opened some doors for me, and it closed many others. You know, where I met people that said they hated people with tattoos, and I just asked them, "Do you hate people with tattoos, or do you hate tattoos?"
Right.
Some answered they hated people with tattoos. Others said they just didn't like it, because using the word hate against tattoos is very powerful, you know. Yeah. But when I say open the doors, it's because of my minor major problems that I had with drugs and alcohol. I ended up falling into what we call a subculture, motorcycling, bikers. But, and where I was accepted, they didn't care what I looked like. They didn't care how I acted, how I dressed. And I continued to put the tattoos on me because I really liked them. And I started when I'm 15, and I'm 64 now. And I stopped about a year or two ago.
So you're finished? You're not going to get any?
I think so. I think so, yeah.
Recently, I saw a guy who had them all up his neck and his face and his head. And I just wanted to talk to him. I wanted, you know, he walked by so fast. I just said, oh my God, I love your tattoos. But he kept going because I was fascinated why people like I can see the arms and all of that stuff, but why, you know, why people do the face and neck and the head, you know, I'm just so curious about it, right?
Yeah. I can't speak for other people, but I wouldn't get my neck done.
Right.
Because when I used to cross the border a lot because I just live on state line of Vermont here, and I love riding in Vermont and New Hampshire, but it would give me problems because they would look and I think you're in a gang or something to that effect. And because at one time when I used to cross the border here, because I've lived out here for over 30 years, I ride motorcycles all the time, as often as I can. And they're not a priority, but I enjoy riding. It's a good therapy for me. And when I used to cross the border, there was times where I was refused,
Right.
excuse me, because of my tattoos. They didn't say it for that reason, but they just said, well, you can't come in today.
Right.
And that's when we were dealing with the old school. Like, I can tell you a little story. I was going skiing at Jay Peak, and I have a tattoos on my hands. My wife was driving, and when they stopped us at the border, the guy asked me what was on my hand, and I showed it to him. And he said, when he was in the Navy, it was only low-life scumbags that got tattoos on their hands, you know? Mm-hmm. And I didn't say anything, but in my mind, I was saying, well, he's standing here breathing all this exhaust. I'm going skiing, so I'll keep my mouth shut. So that's what I did. But for the last, excuse me, for the last 30 years, my wife and I have done a fair amount of traveling throughout the world, and it's done all in a positive sense. Yes. Except, like I said, coming back, if we were in South America, you always land in Miami before catching a flight to New York or straight through to Montreal. And they gave me a lot of problems, you know, held over for 7 hours, stripped me down, stuff like that, you know.
So there's that automatic judgment, right?
Well, yes. They just think that you know, I'm doing something wrong. I'm bringing cocaine back. So who knows what it would be, you know?
So now you went to other countries. What were your reactions in other countries?
The reactions from the people?
Yes.
I got some, I spent some time in Ecuador. 2 different occasions I went to Ecuador, and I found the indigenous people, especially the ones in the jungle, really like to be around me. You know, because I always smiled, I always said hello to them, and I treated them like I respected them because I was visiting them. They weren't visiting me. Yeah. And that's not just the reason why I respect them. I just really enjoyed being around them. So sometimes, you know, they would make a bracelet for me or just something interesting, you know.
Very nice. Now, I know you've also traveled to places in Africa. Is that correct?
Yes, I traveled, not throughout, but a good seven countries I've been through. To South Africa twice, and then I've been to other countries in Africa, and I've even had Muslim men hug me.
Is that right?
I would be outside, and I would meet them, and they would just, you know, they didn't judge me. There was once when I was in Cape Town, I was with my friend who always acted like he was afraid of Black people. Right. I don't know why. He just very uptight. And I met a group of people working in a grocery store, and they don't want to be called Black. Okay. You know, because they're a mixture of Indian and Black, you know, so they're like a brown color. Right. And I remember them asking me, coming over and just saying, are you a biker? And I dropped monies, I was hiding behind the counter saying, oh my God, there's a biker here. And they all started laughing. The women were leaving their cashiers and walking over and talking to me. So it was like an icebreaker in a way. And he had said to me, how can you do this? I said, that's the way I am. Yeah. I like smiling. I like saying hello. I like meeting people, you know, and it's nice. Nowadays, it seems at the borders, even in Canada, there's a lot more young people coming from Afghanistan or Iraq, wherever they were stationed through the armed forces, that have a lot of tattoos also. So when you go through, it's not as tough because they have them also, you know. Yeah, so they're not really going to judge me in any way. You know, there's still time. They want to know, you know, if I got a red and white bandana tied onto my bike. They want to know if I'm hooked up with some gang or something. But it's an old school thing where you're working on your bike and you use it to clean your hands off as you're working on it, you know? Yeah. So it's like with the tattoos and with being a biker, it's like a double whammy sometimes, right?
The way
sometimes.
the way the judgment.
But I've accepted it, and it doesn't bother me at all. When I knew it bothered me, I covered my arms when I went through the States. Now I don't feel that way. If they don't want to let me in, well, that's just the way it is. But it hasn't been like that for years.
That's good.
No?
Now, I know that you said you and Elizabeth have traveled quite a bit. And what I like, because you've posted a lot of your pictures. And what I really, really like the most is when you show just ordinary people that live in whatever country you've gone to, you know? It's not the touristy sites. It's not, it's just somebody maybe down the lane or whatever. And I think it's wonderful. I really think it's wonderful. That's the way like, if I had money, I'd be gone all the time, you know?
Well, we just say to ourselves, what are we willing to give up to go out? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's what we do. And it's just, you know, we support 5 young girls throughout Africa, and we've been to homes of 2 of them.
Nice.
Yeah, one in Tanzania and the other one in Kenya.
Right.
We're not running through, but trekking through the cornfields with rice on our back, and spent the day with them, and just beautiful people. And, you know, like when we were in Cambodia, which was our last trip in November, we were supposed to be in Egypt in April, but because of the pandemic, we didn't make it. And also we were supposed to spend 4 or 5 weeks in Malaysia in August, September, but of course, again, couldn't do it. But when we were in last November, we were in Cambodia, and we got to spend like I live in a tree house instead of a hotel.
Nice.
Where it would cost you to walk up. You might see a snake or 2, but it's no big deal. You walk up the stairs, you sleep in a tree house for $2 or $3 a night, you know, and
oh my gosh.
With the family the next day. You got cats walking around, dogs, little puppies playing with. And it's like that in most places. You know, I've been to some very spiritual places too in India.
Right.
Where it just knocked me right off my feet. But, you know, they were just so happy to see us. And, you know, I don't usually say it, but they always say, where you're from? And I go, Canada. And their smile just goes right wide, and they want to hug you, they touch you. And I've made some pretty nice friends.
How awesome is that? Yeah, that's awesome. Like, you know, I don't know if you're aware, but my son lives in China, and I'm so glad he's there, because I probably would never have gone there had he not been there, you know? And now I'm drawn to go that direction all the time. I want to go to Vietnam and Singapore, and, you know, like everywhere that I can think of, I want to go to those places. I love it so much.
Well, you know, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's about you. It's not about me. I gotta stop talking.
Well, I was just thinking, because you mentioned China, we were in Beijing, and we went up to the Great Wall, and like I was just blown away. I just couldn't believe where I was standing, you know. Yeah. But there were more people, more Asian people. I would suspect Chinese were coming over and asked, could they take pictures with me? Yeah. You know, they just no, open your sleeves. They just it was just nice, you know, and it just. So it seemed like it's reversed on me now. It's doing more for me than what it used to do before.
How awesome is that?
I can have an idea how some people, maybe of color, what they have to go through at times. You know, my difference is I can cover it. Yeah, you know?
For sure. Well, with that, we're out of time. But just stay on camera for a second while I say goodbye to the audience. Okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Stay there now. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed meeting a little bit, hearing a little bit about my cousin Jimmy. And I think we're going to have him share some of his photos of his travels. So tune in for that, and I hope you watch the next show. In the meantime, peace out.